Hi. Wow, like I'm totally feeling like I'm hanging out with my pals, getting ready to do some cool work. I am pumped and excited. For you, those of you who don't know me, I'm Joshua. Today is what, August 6th or so, 2017, and this is my weekly Delver development stream. I've been doing this over a year for every Sunday, so that's a lot of Sundays I've been doing this, and this is kind of trying to like document and also communicate our progress on our march to final release. Let me make sure all my tabs. I think my tab might be echoing there. Hopefully that's. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, I tried trying to professionalize it up a little bit since I got some nice since I have polite company in today. Yeah, but this is my Delver stream. If you don't know what Delver is, it is a fantasy first-person dungeon crawler with roguelike first-person shooter elements in it, and a little bit of everything we like. We've been working on this project for 4 years. When I say we, there are two of us working on this. I'm Joshua again. I'm the art guy. I also do level design. I also do programming. I mean, we're two guys making a game. So we wear a lot of hats and just kind of jump in whenever a task is needed to be done. The other developer is named Chad, and he is the primary developer. He's the original creator of Delver. He does a lot of the business and basically everything I don't do, Chad takes care of. And let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Tyreek. The month is starting to slip by. Yeah, and this was supposed to be the June update. Then it was supposed to be the July update. It's really hard keeping these timelines. I think mostly because we're shifting our efforts to try to make this the last update or the last big update. So I'm really like starting to scrutinize things, and all the little things that I wanted to fix, I either need to make peace with or shut up and fix them. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But again, here's the website behind my head. It's delvergame.com. We have a link to our Steam page. You can support us on Steam in early access. We are $7.99. When we release full 1.0, we will be bumping the price to $9.99, and that just represents 4 years of additional development and 16 updates of content. So we think that's fairly a good deal. Also, if you can buy it on Humble, if that's your jam, Humble also comes with the Steam key. I mentioned Steam twice because Steam is the build we update the most frequently. Though once we release, we will be updating all of our platforms to include Humble, Android, and we'd like to get it to iOS. So that would be kind of what we'll be doing after release. So let's close this and let's take a look at what we've been up to. Okay, here we go. Let's get rid of this stuff. I was trying to do some sneaky work right before the stream. Cool. Sorry. Yeah. Unfortunately, so the situation is Delver is written in Java using OpenGL, and that kind of eliminates most of the major consoles for us. I think the only console that I know of, or at least the only console account rep that reached out to us was PlayStation, saying that they support OpenGL, which is cool. But all the others are direct Xboxes, as far as I know. Again, we haven't really looked at it. Maybe if it sells well, we might use some of that money to pay like folks to translate it, or to or basically rewrite, or like not transpile, but the word is escaping my brain. But yeah, so if it sells well, we might do it. If not, yeah, like unfortunately we gotta like eat first, you know. Felix is asking about achievements. We would like to do achievements. Port is the word. Yeah, we would most likely we would pay somebody to port it for us. Yeah. We would love to have achievements for 1.0. Again, that's probably on the list. Yeah. Yeah, no, food is important, and I have a wife and a child and 2 dogs. So like making sure that, you know, my family, you know, we can get by okay is my priority. So yeah. Cool. Let's do That's very kind of you, Mark Solly. Yeah, so let's do our kind of what have we been doing? What have we been doing this week? That's kind of what I like to start off with. So let's just paste this in there. It's a git log. Here, let me clear. It's a git log one line since a week ago, and I do some pretty printing so we can see what's going on. Also, let me adjust this so it's a little bit easier to read. Let's just kind of grab this and right next to my head. That feels good. Boom. Okay. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. So again, a lot of my updates are just going to be just like me tweaking like tiles, and I was spreadsheeting last week pretty hardcore, which isn't super sexy, but like when you have like we had 93 rooms to do like a quality control on, so I created a spreadsheet. I listed all 93 rooms, and I listed the things that I thought were important to make sure that we had touched. So updating the texture sheets, updating if the map layout was bad, redoing the map layout, adding props, you know, all sorts of things that I thought were good, adding specific features for this particular area. So like this area has these cool like windows with shafts of moonlight coming in. So those are some like, we don't want to like hammer it across all the rooms. We want some rooms to have that, so they have kind of a theme going through it. So yeah, lots of me fixing tiles. Yeah, again, same with Chad, just fixing all these rooms. They're a lot of work. A new entity for modders that might be interesting is there is a skybox area. So what this is it is a volume that you can place in the level, and you can specify a particular skybox and a particular texture, and then whenever that area is exposed, just to, like the void, we'll fill in the skybox for you right there, which is nice because instead of having one skybox tied to the theme, you can have a unique skybox for any given area. So you could use multiple skyboxes within a single level, which is pretty cool. But we use this in just a few places, but it's pretty darn nice. Let me see. Thank you, Salad Ongs. Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. So Dakota is playing with a subscriber bot. So yeah, I'm a Twitch affiliate, whatever that means. I guess that means you can throw bits at me and you can subscribe to me. I love my subscribers. I have 6 subscribers. I guess I lost one. That's okay. I'll do my best to maintain you. But yeah, you get a subscriber bot when you subscribe to me. I wrote that thing myself, so it can do some things. Right now, it mostly does chat commands. Also, the end of the Friday of every month, I'll be doing something special for my subscribers. I'm not sure what this month will be. Probably just another, like just kind of working on some random projects that my subscribers want me to work on. So yeah, so if you want to see me work on some stuff, subscribe to me. If not, no biggie. Yeah, let's see. More tiles, more room work. Like all this stuff is just these are the rooms. So like dungeon starts 10T is just is a start variant for the dungeon theme. That's what that directory structure looks like. Again, more detailing. So yeah, some of the shaders for the foliage were needing some tweaking. Chad updated them, and they behave differently on macOS versus Windows. So we need to get some parity between those two. Rooms. So tweaking around with new boss level. Maybe a new boss level, a new boss fight. Try to make that better. Again, more room work. Looks like Chad added a repeater trigger, which is cool. Just some slight more trigger logic to help you make more interesting things. Cool, yeah. So Crimson Sky says, if you don't know, you can subscribe to one channel for free if you own Amazon Prime. That's nice. No, it's all right. It's all good. Also, I do a crazy lunch break roguelike during the weekday, which is also fun for subscribers because they get to actually like play in Twitch chat. Monsters can fire trigger on death, which is cool. I guess you could have monsters trigger something on death, which is... I'm trying to think of what you could do with this. More room work, room. Updating the beer hall. More room work. Fixing a trigger, repeating trigger, cave texture sheet. Oh yeah, so as from my particular perspective, the The dungeon refresh is mostly done. I have got all the large beats. All 93 rooms have been updated. Some might need a little bit more work, but they're really like we can play and it looks pretty darn nice. And then yeah, just me. I started actually kind of working on the other areas, so like touching up the cave areas. So I've been doing a lot of talking and not a lot of working or playing. So let's play a little bit of Delver in case you don't know what it is, or I can finally show off some of the cool new stuff that we've been doing. So let's see what the latest Delver looks like. Nymphia says we have pressure plates and proximity sensors for traps. We also have falling floor traps as well. I don't know if you found those yet or not. Do we have any other plans for other trap triggers like tripwires or theme-specific stuff like spider webs or noise-making objects, etc.? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any. That's not on the top of my priority list. But it might be nice just to reskin some of the existing traps to fit in better with the current themes. But yeah, this is Delver. This is the start area. This is the campfire, and these folks are here to provide a little bit of life. They are the stores, they are the tutorial, they are the diegetic music. Yeah, let's just truck on down. But yeah, so a lot of my work, hopefully this isn't too dark, but yeah, a lot of my work has been around trying to just to kind of fancy up these areas. So like now we've been going with like this kind of cellar feel. So we have these wine or beer casks all over the place, and we have breakable pottery. And again, a lot of stuff is just most like we initially implemented breakables just as a way for people to kind of express themselves. Because typically in games, people do that just by bunny hopping all over the place. But I really dislike bunny hopping, so we added all these breakables, which sometimes they drop stuff, but not very often. But it is nice when they explode as a reaction of something that you do, which is nice. Yeah, like something exploded this. Oh, the door? The door looks broken here. What is this? This looks like a tri-intersection. Let me take a note of that. We have a door that's 90 degrees off. Campfire says, what about making campfires hurt the player or making a proper mesh for them? I don't know if, I don't know. I don't think the player should be able to die in the start area. I just don't, like, I think, like for new players, if they die in the start area, there is a huge demoralizer. And to be honest, if you really stood in like a campfire that was just like low burning coals, it hurt, but you probably wouldn't die. So let me say, fix, misaligned, door and try intersections. Yeah. No, I love all the breakable junk too. It's just nice, like especially like when you get this chain reaction of things exploding and like stuff flying. Like I should be able to let me see, do something like this, and I can get that stuck there, and that should explode beautifully. And then it kicks all the stuff off the table. So yeah, just little things like that I think are nice. It adds just like kind of like a weight or like a sense of place to where the environment. Yeah, so we have like these. Whoa, don't know. Yeah, I think I want to fix these bookcases right now because they are right now they're a solid like bounding volume, and these are just kind of inserted inside them, so the explosions won't kick them around. And I think it's important that they should, so I should fix that. But yeah, so I've done some texture love, added some of these breakables. We can throw stuff now. Oh, and I killed myself. Yeah, he knocked my dagger out of the sky with his magic. Cool. Hey, 2D game dev. Thank you very kindly. I appreciate the kind words. Hey, Maker Images. Thanks for popping by. But yeah, so this is the, and again, it is procedural. So when I go down here the second time, it should be all different, with who knows what. Yeah, so we have. I think all the beginnings are kind of similar, but they're slightly different. I think the starts are probably the most different. But yeah, we've had a fun time going through all these and just trying to make them beautiful, make them play better as well. Like sometimes if there are tight areas, I try to widen them out just a little bit. Not all of them. I think like having a variety of like cramped areas and some open areas is good. And I started adding like some of the cave stylings. Like there are from the lower cave level areas, I'm bringing in some of the how we style and theme that stuff too. Kind of like a slight theme bleed, I guess. But I think it works well. See if I can hit this guy with my dagger. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, being able to throw weapons is so nice. You can throw anything now, like these bones. I can grab them. I could put them in my inventory, and I could scroll over to them. Then you hold down the Q key to charge them up, and when you release, you'll throw it. So see if I can get somebody with this bone. And somebody died over there. Yeah. But unfortunately, bones aren't super damaging, so that might not be a very valid strategy to play. But you can use it too. For example, you can like use it to trigger traps and stuff. So that's what a lot of the junk stuff is used for, is getting around traps. Also, we have these nice little like volumetric like fog sprites now that kind of fade when you get close to them to kind of simulate, I don't know, like a little bit of water vapor you get when you're in like cold, damp areas. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's looking good. I'm really happy with where we're at. I think it's an improvement over where we were. And I'm just probably just going to noodle on some stuff today. No real big super plans. Just trying to polish off some little stuff here and there. Maybe work on the cave. Maybe work on the sewers. Yeah. And then here we go. I think this is not level down. Yeah, trying to create little cool environments. All right, let's get to work. Yeah. No, it has come a long ways. Yeah, I think some of the older images too. Try to find an old one there. But yeah, this is what it used to look like, and it's been updated quite a bit since then. It's been a fun process. Okay. 2D Game Dev says, how many failed projects did I make until I completed my first game? Oh man, tons, lots. I think anybody who's tried to make any sort of project has started and not completed way more projects than you ever finish. I guess I've technically released 2 games. My first one was back in 2007, and then Delver has been ongoing since 2012, 2013. Any new enemy type to the dungeon? Not sure. I don't really have plans to do that just yet. Again, but this is getting pretty late in the game, so if I don't do it now, I probably won't ever do it. So I don't know, Felix. Like part of shipping is just cutting features, right? Like we all have like there are probably hundreds if not thousands of things I would love to do in Delver. I just don't know if I just don't have time to do them. So it's picking the ones that are the highest priority and trying to get those done. Because this is not it's not a Minecraft. We can't work on this forever. So we have to be picky and choosy about what we do work on. Let me just open up file. Let me just do this real quick. Let me grab that file, new. Yup. I was thinking about adding a new wall decorator thing that will. Let me see. That will decorate a specific broken wall, which I think could be cool. Dungeon. Specifically, I think, is it the rubble one? Or this one right here, this one. And I wanted just to add just a little thing to slap on the wall to give it just a little bit of texture. So let's try that and see what it looks like. Misc Mesh or dungeon sets, drip pile, and then change all this stuff. So it's not, it should be dungeon and wall decor blocks. Yeah, okay. And oh no, it's not that. It should be texture, dungeon, meshes, texture, textures, texture, dungeon. I think textures? There we go. Let me see, wow. Let me see, As Steven says, but just because it's not finished doesn't mean it's wasted time. Yeah, yeah. Lots of my failed projects I've certainly learned from. You know, as a young developer, like I think it's important to try to, you know, just be realistic in the fact that a lot of projects are going to fail, and then usually keep I just keep them on my hard drive somewhere, because usually I can scavenge art from them, or I can scavenge a good idea, and that's you know it's always nice just to have stuff like I just have art laying around on my hard drive and I can just throw art at something real quick, which is nice. And I'm trying to get this to size up nicely. So 4 calc 4 divided by 32 125. That should be that dimension there. Nope, this dimension here. Come on. It's too wide. 0625? Oh yeah, because it's half of that, so 0625. And it's roughly how many across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me go to my, just go to Photoshop and just measure it real quick. Assets, textures, dungeon. Textures, and I'm just chopping this out of this texture sheet here. So it should be something like 22 wide and maybe 27 tall. I think that's the thing I propped out. Yeah, so 22 and 27. Let's get the old calc out. So 22 divided by 32 divided by 2. 0 throw. Can I copy that? 34375 should be this dimension here. 34375. Oh yeah, it's not centered. Yeesh. That's probably all right. That's probably all right. And 27 over 32 over 2. 421875 421. No, that's 82. If you need to multiply it by 2, that should be close. I'm just gonna slap this. My whole idea is just slap this on the wall right here, because it should just kind of nicely align, like right there. It should just kind of just sit there, and maybe it's not a lot of detail. I just wanted to try it out, just try a little experiment, since it was pretty easy to do. I just basically I did it in my time before I came on stream. And then I could set up a wall decorator, automatically slap this on those walls. I'm worried though that if maybe I should make it like it stops player movement, which might be bad if people are sliding along walls, or they might get caught, which isn't super great. So I can just turn off collision is solid equals false. Then I should be able to just slide right through it, and it's thin enough that I don't think you can't really see into it. It doesn't. I don't think it's breaking anything. So let's try that. Let's try. Let's turn this like this, I think, and let's set it right in the center of the scene. Because when you define prefabs, it's best to define them from the 0, 0 coordinate. So right here. So this is what I want this guy to look like. I can right click on it, say to JSON. That'll pop open a JSON window. And then from here, I can just copy and paste this. So let's copy. Then I write through a JSON formatter real quick. And I want 4 space tab process. Copy. And then let's go into assets data, no assets generator dungeon, and then in here in the info, Wall? Post on wall. So yeah, this post on wall already uses a rule to slap stuff on walls, so I'm just going to kind of lift that. So this is putting it on wall text 0, which I want wall text specifically 0, 1, 2. Okay, so I can copy that and then just kind of tweak it a little bit. So let's do this. And then let's say paste. And this is stone blocks on wall 2. So wall text needs to be 2. I'm going to turn up the chance to 100% right now. So 100%. So it should be slapped on every single wall with that texture. And then it needs to spawn a model, which I can get over here. And paste that in there, and then maybe clean up the tabs a little bit so my little engineer heart doesn't hurt. So texture atlas is, yes, this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, that looks okay. So I can actually just try this out in the editor. So yeah, so I have the editor already open. So I should be able to, I think I can undo all the way back out to here. And if I put a torch here so I can see what I'm doing, if I hit play, it should pop something on that wall. Maybe? Oh. Popped it over here. So the place on wall, yeah, so the place on wall will make it flush with the wall, and I actually want to recess it into the wall a little bit. But yeah, it got placed there. I think that seems to be right. Yeah, I mean, it could go on any wall where that texture pops up. But it should always get placed on this wall, because this wall... what's going on? Come on, RNG. Why are you making life hard? No clip. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be properly behaving. It shows up there sometimes. Oh, so I think what I can do is I can, let me see, I could slice it in half and just have it half invisible, half visible. That should be a fine thing to do. Let me see. Yeah, lots of good chat today. I really appreciate that. Flying Fish 45 says, I would say being able to do everything that the things sort of watered down Minecraft, having to choose, make sure that everything makes in the game is good and necessary to finish the final game. Games are defined by limits you pose on the player, and it gets Minecraft is more of a sandbox than an actual game. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so basically, yeah, Frandon's right. Like I'm just trying to get this project to a point where I can not touch it and not like die inside, if that makes sense. Let me see. Are my rules set up wrong? Wall text, floor text, seal text. If I get rid of these. What does that do? Yeah. So it's not placing it 100% of the time, but it's still placing it somewhat regularly. Again, I'm wondering if it's also, if I made it wall text 0. I guess it depends if it happens. It should be happening like after we do the wall painting, but maybe not. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly my whole thinking. Is just as a cheap way to add some variance. Yeah. Again, that's all I'm trying to do. Is just like if you notice when I hit play, like all of a sudden, like we get these props get thrown in, like we get these posts stuck on the walls, we get spider webs on the ceiling. the textures on the walls even switch. Like we have systems of defining like variety and like how often something gets swapped out for another thing. Like crates will get stuck into corners, you know. Just lots of these little systems that aren't terribly complicated, but we're trying to layer them to make interesting things. And yeah, like I think these would be cool if I can get them right. Yeah, and maybe just bump them up a little bit higher, and I need to fix the whole not centered thing. But I can just adjust the 3D model on that one. So let's just do that. Let's just go back into Blender. And let's fix this real quick. Yeah, no, we're definitely keeping we're trying to keep this as lo-fi as possible, mostly because it allows us to work quick. So let's do this. Go orthographic top view, isolate. Let's duplicate this on the x-1. Let's center ourselves on that. Let's go into here. Let's select all the faces here because it's just mirrored, so I can just delete those faces. I can bump it there. There we go. Because Delver requires for the collision stuff to work correctly, it needs to be centered at the bottom. Though I was designing this so it's centered on the actual texture sheet. So here you can see the texture sheet that I lifted it from. Like this 3D Geo just kind of is just pulled straight out. It's basically extruded out of the texture sheet. So you can slap it on that particular texture and it works really well. You can slap it on the other stuff and it looks okay. I wouldn't be like super aghast if that happened, but yeah. So so that's why it's kind of not centered perfectly. That shouldn't be a problem. Let me just go here, hit Alt G. That'll clear out the location transformation, so we have it right at origin. Because when we export, Delver expects it to be at the origin, and now I can just hit File, Export, OBJ, and then for Delver we need to do selection only, otherwise it will export the whole scene. We need to not write materials, we need to triangulate the faces, and then we need to figure out where we want this to go, which happens to be Assets Meshes Dungeon, and then I have this, it's this wall decor blocks, export. Done. Woo! Then now if I hit play, play, K refresh, that should pull in all the new assets. And yeah, that looks better. And again, I want to kind of keep these things at eye level. Okay, so my other concern too is if they're not solid, then we don't get projected decals. Like you notice when I exploded that. Let me see if I can find one. So if I step back and explode this over here, we'll get the projected decal from the explosion, but it doesn't go on this geo because it needs to be solid for that to happen. I could pull this up higher. Let's try that. So in our definition here for this this stone block on wall 2, I can change the Z value. This rotation here, -360, don't need that because it effectively doesn't do anything. But for this model, these two brackets indicate this model definition here. I can just add in say a Z and say of 0.5. Just kind of shimmy it up on the Z-axis a little bit, and then maybe make it dynamic true, and then half of that again. So calc 0.0625 divided by 2, 3125. Oh, 3125. Oh, 3125. Cool. So at least now it should pick up the refresh. It should pick up decals that get projected onto it. Play. Oh, did I break something? I think I broke something because if you notice, none of the decor is popping in. I think I messed up my JSON. And where could I have messed that up? Let me see. That was fine. Is it this Z property? Let me see. Is this fine? Yeah, there we go. And then comma Z 0.5. Is that what was goofing it up? That's fine. Yeah, no, it pops them up there, which doesn't quite align to textures, but the textures can shift up and down depending on the floor height. So maybe it's not so super important that they line up perfectly. It looks like they're still. Let me go to no clip mode, and it looks like they're still floating off this a ways. Maybe is it my? So if I drop one of these in here, maybe. Is it the collision volume that's doing that? Oh yeah, so let's try changing the collision volume to 3125. Save. Let's go back into here, play. It might use the collision volume to figure out. Yeah, so it was using the collision volume, and actually this doesn't even hang us up anymore, which is nice because it's a small enough of a gap that the player can slide along it, which is really cool. And then now if I get the really big explodey one, I should be able to project decals on it, maybe? Or is it not? Or did I not enable the... Yeah, it's not. Here we go. True. That's why we were sliding along. I psyched myself out. Oh, and they... they fell? What? What? I guess I need to set them to floating because otherwise they're or do they think they might need to be static? Misc mesh log dynamic false JSON is dynamic false. I think they definitely need that property. So let's take a peek at that. Yeah, dynamic false. Oh. Oh. Collision. Did I not get the... Is solid true? Jason. Is solid true is what I wanted. And I was changing the wrong property. So let's do that. Is dynamic. Is solid true. Alright. Sorry, folks. Let me take a look at chat. Sorry. Delete and play. Cool. Yeah, so they still do hang you up, but that's not the worst thing in the world, I suppose. Yeah, and it's just a tiny little bit of variety, a little bit of flavor. I'm going to go ahead and move it back to the texture 2 definition. Texture 2 and make it a fairly low... let's see if I keep it at 1.0. It wasn't always spawning on the texture 2s, I thought, but... Yeah. Is my counting off? 0, 1, 2 is where I want it to be. Again, I'm worried that maybe it's... it should be placing this stuff after the wall painter gets its hands on everything. Yeah, so it looks like that one got placed on a 1, which is correct. Yeah, let me wall 2, and then in my editor, I can just say make this all wall texture 2 right here. Up. There we go. So it should fill that one. But it's still not placing it at 100%, which I'm not sure why. Oh, it won't place in corners. I can get rid of that property. Place in corner, I can just get rid of that. Because placing in corners is fine. Sometimes with these props, you don't necessarily want them placed in corners. Like windows, like placing windows in corners feels weird. Like we just don't do it in real life. Yeah, so this seems to be doing a better job of things. And again, it's just a small... a little bit of variety. Cool. And it doesn't seem to always place them on the... Yeah, I guess it's okay. I can live with it. Let's call it good. Let's just dial it down to some smaller percentage, like 0.2. And let's actually play the game a little bit and see if we can find it actually like in the wild. Sometimes it might be behave a little bit differently versus the editor. Usually the editor is exactly the same as the game, but not always. How do I create my .dat files? A lot of times, as you saw in the just a little bit ago, I right click on something I built in the editor, and then I convert it to JSON. And then I've been trying to, before we ship, run all this stuff through a JSON beautifier, so we have nice, easy, readable JSON for folks to tinker with. Yeah, so there's one in the wild. That looks all right. Again, it's just cheap, easy variety. This is something I probably definitely want to mark as low detail, so on the graphic sliders, if you slide it down to low, it will just go away. Here, these are old... No. That looks like an old texture that... Yeah, that looks like an old texture that didn't get updated. I'm kind of curious of why that is. Oh, this is a cool feature. There's this like a library thing I built in here that has all these... Go away, bat. It has like these books and has these. It just goes way up into the. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Again, I worry that on my monitor it's a bit dark. Yeah, I'm really excited for these new areas. I guess I haven't really seen a lot of my little blocks in the wild just yet. I could put them on other textures as well, just to make sure that they pop up more frequently. Oh crap. There we go. Run. That's handy. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Or she. She's gonna kill me. Yeah. Let's go down to the next level. Cool. There we are. Nice. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it a lot. Maybe I'll also make a copy for just wall 0, so we can see it on more walls, I guess. Let's just copy this. And we'll paste it, another definition, and then we'll just change it to also appear on wall text 0, which is the primary wall text, so we should see it quite a bit. Yeah, fun bugs are always a good laugh. Yeah, thanks for the kind words on the set pieces. Yeah, I try to like all the old dungeon rooms. I tried not to throw them out. I tried to like look at what they were doing and try to figure out what was cool about what they were doing and kind of amplify it. And we had this one big room that was just like a big circular empty room, and I thought, what if that was like the base of this crazy tower that just stretches way up, like kind of beyond the player's sight? And it turned out to be kind of a cool thing. It's again, it's marked as unique, so you should only see it once. But I think we marked all the dungeon tiles as unique, so we'll see how that goes. Whatevs. But yeah, I'm still not seeing it a lot. We are getting the other decorations, so I haven't broken the JSON. Yeah, there it is. I mean, I think it's just a very subtle detail. I just need to make sure that it's just marked as low detail or whatever the equivalent is. Now, see that oh, that's doing because the lower texture is that. That's okay. That doesn't look super weird. It looks a little weird, but it's not. I can live with the blocks being on top of the wood for some odd reason. Again, I just wanted to kind of like, if you see this hallway, it's so flat along the walls, maybe just wanted something to break up the profile just a little bit. Yeah, and that's cool right here. We have this in there. Just trying to get some cheap variety. This texture variety is pretty easy to get. I'm just trying to also get some geo variety as well. I just don't want to overdo it. That's the other thing you can kind of fall into, is like just going crazy with all this stuff. So I said I wanted to do something to it. Yes. Let's go to the editor. And we can set, just to make it only for high detail stuff. I can place this dirt pile, for example. I can say, where is it at? General, detail level, low. I can't remember if this is, if that means it's only on can't remember if it's the other way. I think I should set that to ultra. Is that how that works? Detail level, ultra. Play. Let me try real quick. Let me run Delver, and then set my detail to low, and then see how it behaves. Yep, agree. Yep, I totally agree. Breaking up those straight lines does a lot. It's kind of surprising how much it actually helps. Yep, and you have to balance between like too much and too little, but just a little bit of noise is good. Detail level high, so ultra, medium, low, ultra. So if I put it on low, I hit back, then does the editor not honor that? I thought it did. Place entity dungeon sets pile. This is set to low, so I can see it. And if I set the detail level to ultra, it's still there. Okay, so that's not working how I thought it was. I'll have to talk to Chad to see if I'm goofing something here. But I thought that should have disappeared at a lower level. Oh well. Yep. No, I agree, Brendan. Like a lot of times when I make 3D models, it's easier just to work with them with no texture at all and just put like a pure black or a pure solid color on them, so you can make sure the silhouette reads good. Especially in low poly stuff, like the silhouette is king. Also, let me bump this up to 0.4 and 0.4. Desktop play. All right, come on. Options. Let's ultra graphics this and play. Yep. No, lighting also makes a good difference too. Like for me, I try to make the art look good as I can without lighting. So that way, when you throw like lighting on top of it, it's just so much nicer. But yeah, trying to make sure that like we get nice pools of light, nice pools of shadow, and having like I try to use the light to lead the player into interesting areas. You know. So generally in Delver, if you follow torches, you should be all right. Yeah, here this is nice. See how that breaks up those straight lines from the bricks that kind of go forever. It's nice having those just to kind of pop in, which is cool. Yeah. Again, and a lot of this proc gen stuff too is just fiddling with numbers until I get a result I like, which is tough too, because like the next time I run it, like all the walls could be covered, right? Just kind of the nature of like procedural generation. Would watch me add it again? As in like do another... I could add another block variety. I have these big blocks I could kind of slap on there too. We could do that real fast. It would be a pretty easy thing to do. Yeah, why not? Why not? And again, it's more stuff to break up some of the silhouette. Yeah, quit, and let's do it real fast. So go into Blender, orthographic. Let's get out of that mode there. I'm going to do something like go to front view, edit mode on this guy, grab this face. I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate it, P to rip it out of there. So now I have this guy by itself. And let's just go into like local mode or whatever they call that. I'm just going to maybe chop out this big block here. Maybe that'll be all right. So front view, edit mode, and Control R to cut. Control R to cut. Let's just slide these where they look nice. Control R again. Slide this one right here. There we go. And let's say, I think I have a texture workspace here. Yeah, texture painting. let's get to the thing I'm actually working on. It's weird that Blender typically remembers different local views for different workspaces, so that's a thing to keep in mind. Let's hit Y to separate this out. I can delete this. Actually, real quick, yeah, I can delete this one. I can delete this one. This one I hit Shift S and then snap the verts to the grid. Over here, I'm also going to hit Shift S. I'm going to snap our selection to the pixels because I want pixel perfect geo. Then I'm going to hit Control R again. I'm going to cut here and kind of go like right there. And then Shift S, snap, select this face here, Shift S, snap, and then delete this face. And then there we go, we have our block. Let's go to side view, or select this face, go into side view and extrude it, say 2. Because that's what I did for the big blocks, is they extrude out 2. That looks okay. Out of local mode, if we go here and go into perspective, we can get a kind of a feel for what this is going to look like. So now I can select this face, then over here hit Control Tab and go into edge mode. I can grab one of these edges and hit GX, say 1, and maybe shimmy this whole thing over 2. I'm just kind of reusing the. It's just kind of like the UVs are kind of like just kind of what's the word? They're kind of just, I'm just kind of reuse the local texture just so I can get a little bit of I don't know, like a little bit of, I don't know, so I don't have to like create new textures. I'm just kind of reusing the existing texture sheet for the walls. Okay, and then similarly here, grab an edge, get Y2, and then let's just shimmy this down. Get Y -3, get Y -1. There we go. I don't necessarily want highlights on these. I just want a little bit of variety is all. Yeah. And again, these are the edges. You're probably not going to see these a lot, but get X2. There we go. There we go. Cool. So I can hide this. So we have this block. Let me hit numpad period to kind of center our view on this. I can delete this back face because we're not going to see it. There we go. Woo. Nice big block to slam in wherever we need to use it. So yeah, let's real quick. The thing is that we need to make sure the origin, like this little origin point, is where we want it. So I'm going to go into edit mode, into edge, select this back edge, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now I'm going to set my origin of my object to the 3D cursor. So now you see this little orange dot pop in there. So now I can, for example, hit Alt G to clear out the location transform, and it pops us right back in 0, 0, 0 for us, which is where we want it for the export. Then we can export this son of a gun. Let's do it. File, export, OBJ. And I do have a little Delver preset that just checks all the right boxes for me. And then I have a wall decor blocks 0, wall decor blocks 1. And I do zero-based counting because I'm an engineer at heart. So for folks who are asking why does he start with block 0 instead of block 1, that's why I do it. And then, yeah, we should just be able to copy and paste this. So these are the stone blocks. So let's make the stone block 0 on wall 2, stone block 0 on wall 2, but this is one on wall 0. Okay, there we go. These comment fields really don't do anything to the gameplay. They just are a way for us to make notes as to what this particular rule does for the decoration of our walls. This is wall block, stone block 1 on wall 2. And then in this in the models here, I just need to update this OBJ file to be the correct one. So a 1 there and a 1 there. Save. And it should only ever place one of these on a given particular tile, so we shouldn't get stuff doubling up, but let's just double check that. And actually, let me just launch the editor. The editor is probably a faster way to do this. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Friendin, like we are on the same wavelength. Yeah, one big block is probably good, and that's exactly what I did. Hey Dakota, hey Student22, thanks for popping in, folks. I appreciate the company. Today's been a really rad day. I appreciate like the good chat that's going on in the chat that's happening in chat, and Yeah, it's been really, really invigorating. I've been having an awesome day thanks to you folks. Okay, so G, and then I gotta probably just hit play in here and see what we get. Boom. Yeah, there's that guy right there. I probably should I should fix the collision volume because it's not going to be quite the same, and that the collision volume does determine like how it gets aligned to the wall. The depth should be okay. Yeah, let's play one more time, see if I could find any instances of it, but they're being kind of scarce about laying them down, which I think is okay. Yeah, this is also a bad thing. I mean, I don't have a really good way of controlling this dirt pile. This dirt pile gets added in a bad spot. Like when I place dirt piles by hand or when they're on flat ground, it works pretty well. But here, it's not super great. Maybe I should add something beneath. Like, because right now the trick is there's this alpha bit, right? That's the trick on this. I don't see my big stone block popping up. Let me just. File, new, and then like this, boom, and give myself plenty of vertical space here, and then I will just add a bunch of torches. That's the fast way to get light into here. And play. It's not nearly enough light. Let me just add in a, oh, because we don't place yeah, so we don't place torches on open ground anymore. So I can just place a light, an ambient light here, and just make the range huge. Even though it will be like gross drugstore lighting, it will be fine. Yeah, so we get those. I'm not seeing our big block at all, which is concerning me. Why is it not showing up? Okay, no clip. Is it in the void somewhere? No. And these are getting slammed on every wall here. Yeah, I thought I updated the model file. Let me double check. So here, file, export, OBJ. And I exported it as wall decor blocks 1. That's correct. And then in our definitions, it's wall decor blocks 1. That's correct. If I were to say legend set, my dirt pile, then here I can pick out the dungeon wall. Let's see, wall decor blocks 1. Okay, yep, there it is. And I can fix my textures. Oh, I hit escape, not enter. Textures. Okay, there we go. That's how it should look. So the question is, why is it not getting spawned? Is the other one so aggressive that it takes any available space? Is that what's happening? Because here it seems to be slamming them down everywhere. Let me have all these percentages, I guess. So 0.2. 0.2, 0.2, not post on a wall. Yeah, because it does run through all of these, so there is some preference. So maybe I should do something like, yeah, maybe I should play with the ordering of these two to see if that affects. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so I think it was just not getting a chance to actually place any. Yeah, because here it's super aggressive. It's placing down tons of them. But yeah, that's also nice to see how much variety we get just by some of these procedural rules we have in place. Yeah, let's actually see what this looks like in game, and we'll see what our next move is going to be after that. Desktop, go. Yeah, that's an interesting thing about so Quake 1. The interesting thing about Quake 1 is the lights had no color. All the lights in Quake were white. Some of the newer source ports allow colored lighting, but to me, when people start adding colored lighting to Quake, you have to do it pretty sparingly. Otherwise, it starts looking a lot like Quake 2. And yeah, a lot of the original, not original, but a lot of the custom maps from the 90s had really kind of just washed out lighting, because I think the editor tools were Or what am I doing? Play. I was just jumping down through levels for some odd reason, because I was just talking and not actually paying attention to what I'm doing. Take care, Dakota. Have a good day, man. Yeah, no, I definitely love like id Tech games like Quake and Doom and all that good stuff. Like there's a special spot in my heart for them, and I love the restrictions that you know that kind of brought them about. Maybe I should lower this big block. Maybe that would give it more chance to breathe. Let's put something like a big block on the wall. Let's make the 0.25. Stone block on wall 1. Actually, let's do it something like this. Let's go 0.25. Then make this one 0.75. Then kind of same thing here. Just add a little bit of Z variety within. Add some variety within these as well, just so. Maybe that'll just add a little bit of extra, just a variety and difference. Cool. Play. And I always erase my save data because we serialize out the level that we create. So this stuff won't get regenerated if I load my save game. Cool. Yeah, there we go. See, it's placing. Yeah, these tunnels were kind of where I was worried about this stuff the most. I'm trying to just get nice little bits of variety. And also, sometimes we do have these areas with big open spaces. So maybe if some of them get placed in here too, that would be nice. Yeah, like there's a big block placed there. Yeah, nice. Yeah, and it does receive like decals. This one's covering up a torch, which is not great. I really need to edit the code so it doesn't place that stuff on top of markers. How hard would that be for me to do? Not bad, I don't think. I can take a whirl at it. But see here on this side, it's fine. Well, yeah, it's still placing some there too. I don't know. Should I fix that or can we live with that? Pascal created. Thank you for the kind words, man. It's been a great project. I've learned a lot, and I've I've had a lot of life happen to me while I've worked on the project. Like, oh yeah, this is the outside area that Chad created. You know, just since I have it, my wand is out of charge. I'm just gonna bean him. Oh no! So I wanted to hit him with the wand, and then oh, I think he's stuck in Geo maybe. Yeah, so this is the skybox area that Chad created. So like this part of the dungeon is collapsed and you can see out into the night sky, which is pretty darn cool, I think. And you get some of the ambient lighting from the skybox, I believe, maybe? Oh. But yeah, if you, yeah, you may have crashed the bot, let me see. Yep. Let me just fire that back up again. Cool, thank you. Yeah, this is a pretty cool area that Chad came up with, and the skybox stuff is really nice to have. Some of these high vertical walls are a little silly looking, but that's okay. Not gonna worry about it. There we go. Then, yeah, cool. Dakota, try that as command, and not commands plural. Cool, yeah. This is coming together. Like all these little things kind of piling up on top of each other. Now these extra little bricks and stuff. Yeah, and the big brick. Yeah, I think it's all like trying to find all the good ingredients for the goulash. Whatever that means. I got some boxes overlapping. This shouldn't be put there. Bugs. But yeah, that was cool. Quit. 1 hour left. What can I do with my remaining hour? Let me commit this stuff. Okay, so we've updated the procedural placement stuff. We've added a new block. We've updated the old blocks. We've added a new block. Let's add them. Git commit message. More wall decor blocks. Too many M's in my commit. There we go. There we go. Nice. Yep. So we should be. That should be good. What to work on now? I guess I was. Let's just do a real quick. Let's bring up the old spreadsheet. See what the spreadsheet says. I need to do. Recent Delver rooms. Okay, so the little spreadsheet. It says that these ends are not interesting. Let's see if we can spruce them up a little bit. So ends 6, 7, and 8. So let's go to the editor and run it. And also, I don't know if I've mentioned or not. When you buy Delver, we do ship the room editor that we use to make the game. So this editor here comes with Delver. It is just right now. It's called a delvedit.jar, and it lives right next to the binary for the main game. And I would like eventually, maybe when we find another 1.0 task, is to have the editor in its own standalone executable for Windows, because that's what Windows folks like. On our other platforms, I don't think they mind jars so much. So ends and 6, 7, 8, I think were the ones I needed to update. Yes. Load. Yeah, this is, it's just not super interesting. If I play, I think what I can do is I can maybe yeah, I think I can just add just a little bit of detail here and there to kind of make it just slightly more interesting. Yeah, how to do. Sometimes with these cave bits, I like to add a little bit of transition. So let me, let's say, let's go to the texture picker and let's go to the dungeon texture sheet and let's start setting our textures for the upper and lower walls and for the ceiling and for the floor. There we go. I'm going to hit Shift Enter and that will just paint them. And if I hit play, this is what we get. And what I want to do is just add some vertical room up here. So we can actually see the upper part of the dungeon transition. So we get a sense like maybe all of a sudden the dungeon just kind of exits out into this cave area, and then I just need to fix the ceilings. I think the ceiling's just a little weird, but that's not a bad thing. I can just make a selection like this, and then we should have a handle for this edge here. I can just pull this edge back down, kind of make it less crazy. Yep. So we So I don't. It shouldn't be placing stones there. I'm going to need to take a look at my. Let me see. Is it? It really shouldn't be placing them there. For some odd reason, it thinks that there is a. Yeah, I need to take a look at that as well. And that one spot, like in this one spot, it looks fine. It always places it there. That's strange. Cool. So this is kind of exiting into here. I think what if I had something like... I'm just going to add some of these wood supports. I think that kind of that makes it read more like a cavey kind of structure. So maybe right here, maybe there's a room for that. Maybe there's not. Let me pull this down and then hit Shift F to flatten out the ceiling and pull that down. And then maybe just kind of give it a little bit of angle. Hit G to grab those textures and change the floor to our cave rock. And then we'll right click, place entity, dungeon sets, wood beam vertical. And then we got this guy, so I'm just kind of slam a couple in there to make it look like we have this nice little, like this wood support here holding up part of the cave because it's not stable, or something to that matter. And then maybe something similar over here. So this is the stairs down marker. And this, yeah, I just killed myself. So the stairs down sometimes might be the stairs down. We place multiple inns in a level and we pick one to be the actual stairs down. And if this one doesn't get chosen, it will be a loot. So I can't do too specific decoration here because then it looks a little, well, maybe it won't look weird if I decorate it up. Let me try that. Let me try something like that. Let me grab this and then let me set the floor texture to say dungeon floor, and then the lower wall to dungeon wall, and just grab a thing like this and paint it, and then F to flatten it, then maybe pull this up a bit. Play. There's lots of the enemies make it tough. Can I hit play and K and no target? There we go. No target mode. And then I think here I just want to grab the texture, make the floor or a good old T1 like that, and or no, I can't do that. Can't do that. I'm going to make it a dungeon wood, and then the lower wall also dungeon wood, and then pull it up so we get a nice little, maybe something like that. Maybe we can pull this all down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to add some nice height variety, and I think so. What will happen is if this is chosen as the exit, we will paint the exit texture on it. But if it's not, then we just have a little an item on a little wood box in the back, which I think is acceptable. I think that's okay if that happens. And then I'm just going to kind of maybe tweak some of this stuff here so we can make sure the player can step up. They ought to be able to, but you know. Actually, I'm going to make a little, maybe grab the texture here and make this floor also like this. I like to make these little pillar kind of features. I don't know if they really read as pillars, but in my mind they do. Yeah, so that'll be fine. So this will either be a wood pallet with an item on it, or it will be the exit down. I think that reads okay. And then maybe also too, I can add another, just back here, another maybe a wood support thing. So floor, entity, dungeon sets, wood beam vertical. There we go. Just trying to decorate this up a little bit. It's just hard when like we're trying to have like a similar quality bar across the board, and that just, you know, it takes effort. And effort takes time. And time isn't something that we always have a lot of. That's cool. I'm wondering if I should add some sort of, like if I added a pillar here to delineate, maybe just another one of these dungeon sets would be in vertical, and then just kind of use it as a trim to kind of add just a little bit of like a material break in between these two, so it just doesn't kind of go this weird flush. Yeah, that might work out okay. There we go, and drag this one over here. Just trying to hide these areas where the textures kind of meet. Cool. That seems okay. What else? What else? Oh, I can add a little bit of dirt here, I suppose. That's a cheap thing to do. Or actually, what about, I have a specific lower wall texture for this. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. It just lines up nicer with every 8 pixels. It adds a sellout and a highlight, just so you can call out these edges a little bit nicer. And since I created it specifically for that, I might as well use it for that. And then I think, does this wood line up with that or no? This wood particular one is not built that way, which is sad. Again, I had the hindsight, and also because I had done it later to do it for these particular pieces of trim here. This is looking a little bit more interesting. That's way too OP. Okay, let me go back to chat. Hey, folks. Yep, that's true too. Yeah, like every little tool in our toolbox means that we probably ought to revisit all the existing rooms, right? So while it's cool to have, it does mean more work. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, those read as pillars, and I think they hide that material transition nicely. Dirt. I could put dirt piles in here. That's another cheap thing I have. Entity dungeon sets, dirt pile. And these just kind of snug these guys right up in the corners here. Just to add, again, to break up some of the rectilinear forms of the floor there. If you hold shift, you can keep it locked to the XY plane. So I'm just going to try to find a good spot for that to live. Like right there seems reasonable. Let's put another one maybe over here somewhere. If I can't find a good spot for it, I don't feel like I have to use it. Maybe here-ish. There we go. That works okay, I think. Yeah. Typically, I like to put them in corners because that seems to make the most sense where dirt would actually collect. So maybe over there by the torch is a better place for it. Try to get this on the right, just so it's floating above the ground. I try to build it so it will snap nicely, but it doesn't always. Play. There we go. Cool. Alright, and to give this one a little bit more love, file, save. Go here, and I could say maybe that's enough to push it to a 3. That's a totally subjective scale. I'm just trying to keep keep track of which rooms I think are interesting, which rooms I think are not interesting. So it's just kind of an indicator for me to go back to and give them some love. So N7, file, open, ins number 7, load. Oh yeah, so this one's kind of like I'm of two minds of it, right? Because it's this end that it's just an exit, and beyond the exit's a secret door. And we've had this for a while, and I don't know if I should keep it or if I should get rid of it. Yeah. I'll keep it for now, even though it's not super interesting. That's okay. Let's look at. Come on, spreadsheet. Let's do our work. Number 8. 8. I gave it a 2 out of 5 for interesting. This one's not so bad, Joshua. Yeah, I guess I can pull up this part of the. I can pull the ceiling up here just a little bit. I don't know why it's just down right there. It's kind of weird, but I'll make that like that, and then I can right-click here, then place in our door arch. I could snug that up to the wall, and then pull it down. That is the nice thing about making the door arch nice and tall, is that we can have it fit a wide variety of door heights. So that's nice. I can also I could put it over the exit, but I don't know if I want to. Let's slam one over there and see what it looks like and see if it makes sense or not. Because usually I've been using these to kind of communicate, like, this is where the next area goes. That might be okay. Oh. Play. Okay, no target. There we go. Okay, they're still targeting me even though it says no target. Okay. That might be. I think that's all right. It's not bad. And what else can I do in here? Yeah, cellar objects are not a bad idea. Cellar objects and junk. So yeah, so for the cellar stuff, I've been adding like, let's get rid of these and maybe put in a shelf. For some reason, I think shelves live in cellars, right? That's a thing people have in like Where I grew up, we had a thing called root cellars, which was like an outdoor cellar that was unfinished. It was just like it was like kind of like a hole in the ground, really. Yeah. Okay. Got that. I can maybe let me see. I could put maybe the loot marker here. Remove the loot marker. And then I could shimmy this over here. I could put some of those wine barrels in. That's a fine thing, I suppose. Under breakables, barrel horizontal stand. And then maybe kind of line these up however I think looks appropriate. Is the floor flat or no? The floor is not flat. That's probably okay. Or I could flatten it out real quick just for the sake of making these things kind of make sense. There we go. There we go. And then maybe just... Here we are. Now my question is, does that make sense or does that feel like too contrived? I don't know if I like that. I can put a dirt pile there. I mean, that seems to make sense in the corner here. I'm gonna shimmy it back here. I can select it. There we go. Well, maybe some wood posts make kind of implying this area needs a little extra level, extra support. Not vertical ones yet. Place entity, dungeon sets, or vertical. How about right here? Smack dab in the middle. Nope, that's Z, and then snap it into place. I could just frame up this part of the wall real quick, I suppose. Again, if it looks too contrived, let me know. Something like that. Maybe pull it up just one more snap. I don't want to cover the exit though. That's my concern. Then I can do something like maybe make a copy here and rotate it on the X 45 or so, and then under scale, because if you notice right here, because it's the size it is, we get this weird Z fighting effect right there. So a lot of times I can just get around that by just making the scale like 0.95, which is not small enough to really notice too big of a difference, but it's enough to clear out the Z fighting and kind of position that like some sort of brace, which seems fine. Then maybe add another one. So, man, I guess I put the loot marker loot. Remove this loot marker. Then I could just kind of grab this all right here and just hold Alt and just slide it over here. There we go. Beautiful. A little bit more interesting. Yeah, sometimes having to fight monsters while debugging is a pain, but it's also okay. Yeah, that looks okay, I guess. You're posted against the wall, equidistant. They look nice. Maybe the ceiling is placed for some interest. Second with a torch between looks very nice. Yeah. So maybe you're saying to put a third one in there, or is it okay like splitting the room like this? You think? I think this is all right. I don't know if maybe leaving it asymmetric is okay. I'm like keeping in my mind like this part of the cellar is like in bad shape, so maybe this is all right. Cool. Yeah, thanks folks. Yeah, so this one I think is slightly more interesting. My lighting though, this corner is dark. I have a torch, and I have a torch on each side, and I have a lantern. But this part is dark, and maybe that's okay. Like, you can hit L to toggle on lighting, and maybe this lighting's okay. I just worry this part is really dark, and I could just arbitrarily place a torch in the hallway. Not monster. Place marker torch, which I mean it kind of silhouettes this. I don't know. What are your folks' thought on the lighting? Again, I think it's okay to have areas of dark and of light. Maybe I shouldn't sweat that so much. File, save. Yeah. Right now, I think we're late. Pardon me. We're late enough in the game that I don't know if we want to. Depending on how hard that would be, that would be a Chad problem. So clutter, random clutter, and this just picks up a random piece of clutter from that list of clutter you saw on the right-click menu, which can be nice when decorating up stuff. So as you see me like duplicate and kind of decorate this up, you see how it becomes different things, and when I hit play, it will be just a different selection of things on these shelves, which I think is fine. Cool. Okay, let's save it and call it good. File, save. Let's bring up our spreadsheet, and this is a little bit nicer. 3. So, and yeah, now these have I think that list is looking nicer. Halls 18. Let's file, save. Make sure I got it because I'm paranoid. Get status. So we've updated to the ends, and now halls 18. Halls 18. Let's do it. File open. Up a level. Halls 18. Yeah, so this one, okay, so this one is like a trap / puzzle room, and I guess I don't want to touch it too much. I guess I could add some texture variety, maybe. I don't know. Right now, it's just a little puzzle where you have to do some timing between these magic missile shots. Like you can like get into these little cubbies, which is fine. Like once you have the timing down, it's not so hard to kind of slip through. And the decorator is, doing work here. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to do too much to this. Yeah, maybe I can leave it be. Okay, what else needs love? Yeah, that looks to be mostly it. Yeah, I have a half hour left, so I can just pivot on to looking at the cave areas. So let me just close this out, and let's do it. File, open. Yeah, no, yeah. So keeping this room simple because you already have a lot to parse is probably better. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, well, the strike points will eventually scorch up the area. Like they do leave. Oh yeah, I think Chad already put some there too. Just to let you know that they're gonna hit there. Yeah, that was smart. File. Actually, let's just take a look at the state of the caves. I think is what I need to do. Desktop play. Yeah, still no IDD cutie. Race and go. Oh, Nifis meant like rubble and such. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yep, this is our good old friend, the dungeon area. Let's just jump on down. Oh, that was... This one had a cavey... Or wait. So this one had a cavey start, which is... Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, this is my little secret back. Not a secret there, just some storytelling bits there. I think this is okay. Let's go down. Yeah, so in the cave I'm playing around with also adding a little bit of like rubble to the ceiling and floor, like some stalactites, stalagmites, but nothing crazy. I don't want to block a lot of viz. I'm also playing around with decorating the ceiling with these crystals. I do want to touch up the crystal mesh before we ship. This is a really old asset that has not been updated ever. I think the crystals might be a little too much right now. I can dial the replacement back, or maybe have a variant theme that is high crystals, low crystals. But yeah, this is the caves. The caves have always been kind of dark, so maybe I think this is probably a bit too strong. Let me pull that back just a touch. So let me go to the info.dat in the caves. And just, yeah, these glowing crystals on the ceiling. Right now they're 0.06 and make it 0.04. That might be that might feel a little bit better. Oh, I see what you're saying, Niphias. Yeah, so yeah, that would be pretty complex. And also, like and a broken room and another space would be opened up. Yeah. So the thing is like as soon as the game starts playing, though, that stuff starts like simulating. So it would break the room before you got there, maybe. Down one more cave. There we go. Yeah, just try dialing that back. So now, yeah, so it's dialed back a little bit more, which I think is good. I mean, again, because of the RNG, you still get lots of poor bat. Yeah, I think I maybe should like retheme some of these spikes and stuff for the particular areas, like for the for this and for the sewers, because I did retheme some of the traps for the temple area, so that would be nice to do. Spider. Cool. Yeah, and see, in places like this, they still feel like really strong, you know. P. Cooper, blue is too subtle now. Yeah, it's in places it is, in places it's not. It's hard to find a good balance. Somebody died. Thanks. I can try bumping it to maybe 0.5. But again, like you can really like fiddle with this all day. It's just there's a normal amount of variance, you know. Have you ever thought about adding harmless animals like rats or frogs or crickets? Yeah, the one of the really old versions of Delver had mice that would run around the dungeon. Yep. No, exactly. So like there are in here in the dungeon area, there is definitely like a warm tone going on. It is lots of yellow lights, and then when we pop into the caves, we get some more of the blue coming in. We get some more of the blue from the ceiling coming in, which is nice. The walls themselves are kind of a bluey gray. Get this. We still have this orange floor, but that's okay. I guess I don't know. I might change it. I might not. Depends how upward I feel like. Yeah, let's do that. See here, there's just so many now. Like it's crazy, just a small variant like that. So I guess I can dial it back and then call it good. So 045. There's nothing really too sophisticated about our lighting per se. You have to talk to Chad about the specifics of that plate. So yeah, another thing too is I might want to add some so like here we have a little bit of like purpley fog, so like you can see like there's some atmospheric diffusion like in the distance, like the trees and a bit of the dungeon pick up the purple purple fog color. But when we go down to the dungeon doesn't have any fog. The dungeon is just a black. So I may change that. I may not. I could play up on the warm colors here. And also similarly, the caves also, they are just black as well. I could play with the blue, but I'm worried that like the sewers already have. It's like this is the cold area, and the cold area has some pretty thick, like volumetric fog, which I think adds a nice effect. But you know, we have to have good variety like all over the place, right? And we have these kind of blue green lights. They need updated with the flames. go down a level to the sewers, and the sewers also have this kind of, they have a hazy, like kind of a desaturated turquoise color to them. And then we go down again, and then we pop into the ruins, and the ruins has a nice, again, it has this purpley color, which I think kind of complements all the warm tones of the temple, of all the fires and stuff, and all the lava and whatnot. Cool. Yeah, so those are the kind of the colors. Mostly blues and purples. I can probably be brave and play with other colors. I should, just to help the feel. Come on, traps. Yeah, unfortunately I am really under-leveled here, so I am probably going to die the first time I get hit. But that's alright. And I'm on fire. Yeah. Yep, that's how that goes. So Frinden says, I got a really nice complementary color scheme with the purple and the yellow at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, that's also another thing I think about too, is hey Chris, how the heck are you, sir? Yep. Skelly to the Skelly. To my knowledge, there is no new music coming. That would be something we have to request from one of our contractors. Cool, so what to work on? So, cave stuff. Maybe I should add some of those wood supports in the caves. I think I like that. Chris says ill. Like good ill or bad ill. Hopefully you're not bad ill. Oh no, Chris. Sorry to hear that. Also, how is your game going, Chris? How is Sky Noon? I guess I don't really keep on good tabs on you guys. Let's not mess up that. Let's do a git diff. Git status. Okay, cool. The caveinfo.dat git diff. This. Just one of those though, please. Okay, that's all I've changed. Okay, cool. And then yeah, so let's do a git add. Git commit -m tweaking some dungeon rooms. There we go. Cool. And then let's just pop into our editor and let's visit some of the so Toxic Donut 01 says, hey, your game looks great. How long have you been working on it? So we have been working on this game. I've been on it about 5 years now, and I think Chad is probably coming up on 6 years. There are just two of us making this game, and we work on this game primarily in our free time. For the last couple months, I've been working on this full time, but that's new to the project. For the most part, these past few years, we've been doing this in our free time, whenever we have time, and sometimes we don't. So that's been an interesting experience. But yeah, it's been a fun project. And yeah, and during the course of the project, I moved from Kansas City to Seattle, which is about let me see. The directions to from home to yeah, it's about 1,800 miles, or so how many kilometers is that? It's about 2,800 kilometers away, and I took a job at Microsoft, which is a pretty big change. I got married, which was a big change. We bought a house, and we had our first son, all during the course of Delver, which has been a lot of life happening in these past 5 years. Let's look at starts. A lot of life happening. So sometimes Delver gets put on the back burner because, you know, I need to focus on other things. Cool, so I'm just gonna... even though this says dungeon sets, I'm not gonna be super strict about having, like, prop variants for every single set. I'm just gonna have to be okay with that not being the case. I'm trying to put these in spots where you really can't get into anyways. It just makes sense to have something to kind of shore up and support the cave. Cool. Yeah, a couple thousand miles and several lifetimes. Yeah, no doubt. Like, a lot. Life is weird. Life. Yeah. Cool. I wonder if it makes sense to add a horizontal one there or not. T to turn that, and then kind of just slam it up there. They don't like physically connect, so I don't know if that makes... I don't know. Let's add that little support thing here. Oh, wrong axis. Yeah, sometimes our little widgets don't seem to actually orbit the axis they are supposed to be. I'm not sure what's with that. Yeah, and collision on this guy is not gonna be super accurate either, unfortunately or fortunately. I just don't want it to block player movement is all. Okay, and again, scale this down so we don't get any Z fighting. Nice. And again, maybe just kind of not hyper realistic, but maybe it just implies that there is some sort of framing thing going on here, and it's just not magically held up. Yeah. You know, all these new toys that I have, and I, of course, like lots of style things too I've been working on over the years as well. Crates. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like we're working hard to get this thing finished and get it into a good spot. But it's a lot of work. So Ferdinand says, like, we had a similar move from Chicago to Austin, work and life reasons 5 years ago. Yeah, no, it is super scary just to like pack up and leave. And you know, fortunately, we've had, you know, like we found a supportive community of folks in our new home, and yeah, like I feel very blessed to have the opportunities that we've had. And also, I'm really glad that my wife was, you know, like she was very like brave, and she was totally behind me. We took the move to come up here to, you know, for me to work at Microsoft. Can you get back here? Okay, good. Wow, no, that's on you just to jump. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's really awesome of you to be. Did you move for her work then? Sadly enough, I don't think I've ever been to Austin. I've definitely been to Houston and I've been to Dallas, but I've never been to Austin. Okay, that's fine. That's nice. Since you can't really get in here anyways, maybe I should frame these up more. Maybe not. So I could put some stuff back here. Again, because you can teleport, I did make it so if you do teleport yourself back into this area, you can get out. Like, that is a thing you can do. It's just you can't get into this area. But there's nothing really back here. I guess I could put, again, just some eye candy stuff back here. Maybe I should make it something you can get into. I don't know. Like, I was recently reading like a series or just a bunch of kind of like things that John Romero had kept in mind when he was building stuff for Doom. And one of the things is if a player can actually see it, they should be able to get to it somehow. So maybe I can make an affordance over here. Yeah, so let's just do that. Just so people want to get back there, so maybe I'll let them get back there. So let's make a little ladder, and let's just flip it like that, and then let's just slam it like that, and we can just be sneaky and hide it behind some breakable geo here. Cool. So now, if you pay attention, you can see there's a ladder to get back there. Come on, I want to hit that one. There we go. Whoop. And then you can, whatever's back here, you can play around back here. Should I add something back here if people get back here, or no? I'll put a piece of loot back here. Why not? What can you see? Maybe I could tempt you. So if you can kind of see, kind of not really. Back here, it's really hard to get a good angle on it. Maybe if you. Yeah, I was really trying to keep it so you couldn't see back in there very much. Yeah, I'll just put a piece of loot back here to reward folks for getting back in there. So everybody who's on the stream knows the secret, which is kind of unfortunate, and that's not a good place for loot. I guess I can just place it right there. Cool. There we go. That seems all right. Then you can still kind of shimmy your way out of here. Nice. Okay. File save before I forget. Yeah. Again, yeah. So over the course of developing this game, and I've demoed it at a few shows here and there. And yeah, the biggest complaint that people were giving me is they would see areas where I thought I was being clever and making the world seem bigger than it was. But for them it was a frustration because they could see an area they couldn't get to. So now that I'm going back through and just touching all these art pieces up, I'm no longer building levels like that. So if you can see it, if the room was built by me, you can definitely get to it. There we go. Yeah, that's good enough, I suppose. File, save, file, open. Let's just revisit all these starting areas. Just make sure they get some love. Cool. So here we have a similar thing here. Well, it's another cave piece. And a word that you shouldn't be appearing. This is not even the right texture set. I don't know why. That's strange. If I grab the texture here, nope. It should not be appearing there. It's appearing here because you need to set the theme. So level, set theme, and then I can set the theme to cave. This is somewhat new-ish, so now when I hit play, it should be spawning in the blue crystals and giving us a much better representation of what the cave theme looks like. Sorry about that, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, there we go. So it was still trying to apply the dungeon theme to the cave tiles, which doesn't necessarily work. Again, yeah, maybe I can frame up this area here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So as long as folks realize that yeah, following like a developer streaming, you're probably going to get spoiled on stuff. But I think it's funny now because Chad knows that I stream development because I've been doing it for over a year now. But sometimes now he will, when he adds commits that are secret stuff, he won't say in the commit what he's changing because he knows I read those aloud on stream, which makes me laugh. But it's all good. Yeah, we are really fortunate to have such a passionate and supportive community. I really am grateful. Just kind of do that, and we get some. I think we get some Z fighting here, but I think it's also hidden inside this rock geometry, so I can just let that slide. And again, I'm trying to just add some bits that make you think that part of this, because we do have like mine cars and stuff in here, so trying to make it feel like, you know, like man's hand is definitely at work here. Again, come on, quit being fiddly. Other direction. There we go. And I think for this one, I'll just turn off, just make it non-colliding. And oh, disappeared. And scale is 0.95, and just kind of tuck it back in the corner here. Oh, why is it, man? So for some reason, like there must be something weird where it's thinking like I'm moving, like I don't know why it's behaving like that, but I can work around it. Sometimes if the editor is acting up, just reposition the camera. I hate that's not a. I'm sorry, that's not a super great answer, but sometimes that can be helpful. Like for some reason, like it doesn't like me grabbing this. There we go. Again, that is like, so we wrote our own engine and we've written our own tools, which is awesome. Which has been a really good it's a good learning experience. Again, I don't know if when I do another project, I don't know if I would actually take that route. But on the other hand, because we've spent 5 years working on Delver, we do have a very nice engine that we're both very fluent in. So it would be cool to do another Delver engine project, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I haven't really thought. I don't know. Like I'm so like focused and heads down on finishing Delver. I haven't put too much thought into stuff like that yet, which I probably really should be. Like a friend was saying earlier, you always have, as a freelancer, you always have to be kind of hustling and you know, trying to make stuff happen, because you know, like it's up to you. Like stuff isn't going to happen unless you make it explicitly happen. Cool, just tiny little touches, yeah. 3D map editing, or Eric says, I don't know about Delver. Are the bosses in Unique News? Yeah, there is a final boss. Like somewhere along the way, I thought it'd be nice to add mid bosses, but I don't know if we'll get around to that. To be honest, I just don't know if we'll have time. And don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, Tyreek. Like I get it. Like you're so focused on making your game. Like I personally, I have no time to play hardly any other games. Yeah, I just the reality of being a creator, I suppose, is I just put all my effort into the making stuff and not actually consuming a lot of stuff. Though lately, I've been trying to be good about getting back into the habit of reading. So I try to read before I go to sleep at night, which is a nice habit. Okay. We're getting some Z fighting there, so I'm just gonna just gently, here, let me duplicate this down, I suppose, and then I'm just gonna gently pull it inwards, just a tiny bit. So I'll get a little bit of Z fighting along this tiny seam here, but how to fix? I could. Let me grab this and scale this down 0.95. Then I can just kind of nudge these over, so we don't get Z fighting in either direction. There we go. Cool. The thing. And it's still wide enough that the carts could get through, and it makes somewhat sense. I probably should make some more. Yeah, because right now the texture sheet for the caves is pretty small compared to the texture sheet for the. I wonder if it makes sense for these to continue upwards. The textures could use some variety here in the caves, and maybe I'll spend some time doing that as well. Just tiny little seam, tiny. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I guess I don't want to go too crazy with it. I just want to add it here and there, because the procedural, because the caves rely heavily on the procedural room builder. If you notice, like there are 93 caves or 93 rooms for the dungeon area, and there's probably only like a third of that for the caves because we rely on the procedural room builder so much to make rooms for us. Load. Hey, Chad. Thanks for popping by. So yeah, so Cuttigan is the other developer on Delver. Okay, I need to fix this real quick. Let's delete that, and then let's just right-click Entity, Lights, Torch, and there we go. That was a result of me. I've been separating out the texture sheets. It used to be that when Delver was a small and simple game, all the textures lived in a single texture sheet, and I've been slowly splitting out the like the cave textures live in a cave texture sheet, the dungeon textures live in a dungeon texture sheet. So some of these weird bits and bobs of missing textures are because I've missed something. So it's good we found that. So let me go ahead and save that just for that change alone. Also, too, another thing I've been doing too, I noticed Chad did a little bit, and I've been doing as well, is just adding a little bit of framing on the entrances and exits. Just trying to have like this, just like when the texture changes, just have a little bit of height variety, just so it feels nice. Because when it's flat like this, it looks okay, but it feels a little strange. Where I think this just feels more physical and it just feels better with this height difference when the texture changes on the ceiling or on the floor. And again, it's another big list of John Romero stuff I'm stealing. Wow, Chad, this looks like the shadow volume for meshes. And it looks like it's getting some Z fighting with itself, or with the shadows Z fighting with the object that's casting it. It's not very often we get underneath shadow casters, so maybe it's something we can take a look at. Yep. So I can easily extend the playtime by adding things like classes. So when you say things like classes, I just see like another 6 months of development, which I don't know if, like, again, I don't know if I don't even think classes are necessary. Like, we're trying to keep this game light, and we're trying to make it like a nice balance between first-person shooter and roguelike. So right now, the class you are is the equipment you carry. So we're trying to make that differentiation, not necessarily like classes. But yeah, no, that's just a whole lot more work. Yeah, like it is nearly impossible to consume and create, and a lot of times I just find myself flip-flopping, where I'll go into phases where creatively it's very difficult and I don't produce a lot, but I consume a lot, and then I'll flip and be the other way. Cool. Yeah. Thanks. No, like again, we're pushing hard to get this thing finished up. Like the demise of almost, or like the downfall of a lot of projects is scope creep, where you just keep adding more and more stuff, and you never finish a thing, right? So like I was saying earlier, finishing something is knowing when to start cutting things away from the design and making it simpler. Yeah, maybe this one doesn't need framing. Maybe this is okay the way it is. Let's look at the fourth one. Ooh, okay, this one has the old dungeon stuff in it, so that probably needs some work as well. So let's just give it some love. Let's just select all these old bits and delete them. Goodbye. Nope, not the torch. Leave the torch. Okay. Oh, that's gone. Now I feel better. So file, dungeon sets, this door art. Nope, not the door pile, Joshua. Place the door arch. Because we've also been using this to create these arcades as well. And I think this should still work. So let's put something like here. Let's see what two of these look like when I can kind of position them at all with any sort of let's see. Yeah, and Z fighting is gonna get me there too. I can just go back to using pillars because that's what we had initially. Dungeon sets pillar. There we go. And try to get these. Yeah, the snapping isn't gonna. I don't think the snapping is gonna work because it's at a weird spot. So I'm just gonna have to kind of manually eyeball these, but that's okay. That's okay. I can live with non-perfect alignment. That's just as long as it's close. You have to let go of perfection and just get stuff done. Okay. Play. There we go. I think I can also do stuff with the ceiling here too. Maybe that's what another way I can handle that is. So let me kind of grab this selection here, or try to anyways. Having these meshes makes it a little hard. So I hit G to grab the textures. And then I guess let's make the ceiling. Let's just make the ceiling kind of the same from the dungeon. This is kind of like a transition piece maybe, and the upper wall is that. And then Shift F. Let me see if I can flatten all this junk out. There we go. Select all this. Shift F. Sometimes it works well. Sometimes it doesn't seem to work as well. But F and Shift F should flatten out like. So F flattens the floor and Shift F flattens out the ceiling. And that's what we want to do, is just make sure everything's nice and flat. Okay, and then there we go. Cool. I think I can also like click, yeah, I can click on that directly to select, which is nice. I think this one needs to be flattened out because it has a bit of an angle to it. Shift F. Pull it down. Okay, and then I need to pull it down enough so that we can see. Also, I'm getting some weird. This lower wall. Gee, this lower wall needs to be the cave. That. Yeah. But still, so I might need to play with my texture painter because it might be. If you notice in the. This texture sheet here, I only have two alternates for the textures. So if I look how I lay out my textures in Photoshop, I've kind of done it is this top row represents a bunch of textures that can both tile in the X and the Y axis, and you can kind of tile them all over to your heart's content. And this next row down represents textures that really only tile in the X axis. And then also if we look at how I've done it in the cave right now, it only has a very small amount of these. It only has 2 wall textures and ostensibly 1 floor texture, so this needs some love. Because here, this I have like both a like a stone variant and a wood variant. I think having these varieties adds a lot, so I'll probably do that for the caves as well. Hey JFJ, I'm doing great. Thanks for popping by, man. Wow, lots of cool, wow, lots of talk. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, so talking about learning, yeah. So R4 unit says, since you're getting near the end, what are you planning on doing to distinguish from similar projects? I often see the comparison to Barony Made. So what are we doing explicitly to distinguish ourselves? You know, I don't know. Like, I think Delver kind of has its own like style, and I think it has its own look, and we try to keep it. Again, I think we try to tend towards like minimalism and like lightness. Like, we don't want to have complicated play. We want to have like a fun short loop. We're not trying to be everything for everyone. We're trying to be like a nice tight little experience that is kind of like constrained. And I think because we know we're that, we try to design along those lines. Like, I think if you know what you're doing, you could probably beat the game in around an hour. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Upper wall. Cool. So I think it's mostly just us, like, kind of trying to understand like who we are, and like, you know, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, it's hard because like I look at other games in similar veins. Like, there's certainly Barony, and there's Eldritch, and there is, you know, there's lots of procedural dungeon crawlers out there, and I think they're all great. Like, I mean, I guess in some ways it's a competition, but in some ways they're not. Like, I think our audience like will like both games, and hopefully people have time in their lives for both games. Again, because I think we don't require so much like time commitment out of people. Like, you can literally just play for 15 minutes and have a pretty good complete experience. I think that is a plus for us. Yeah, I think slamming these in between the pillars works okay. Do that. Yeah, we're not like focus testing or like sitting down and like in meetings and stuff and like trying to figure out like how we're going to separate ourselves from the pack. Like, I mean, a lot of this project has us just been trying to make like the coolest stuff we can, you know, and yeah, people seem to respond well to it. I think I should maybe err on the side of giving the player more space up here, so let me just kind of push these out. Nice. We still get the effect, but it's not as busy, maybe not? Cool. I could pull the ceiling up a little. I don't know if it matters though or not. Let me see. Levels. Oh, I think these used to. Oh, I forgot to. In my retexturing hastiness, this also should be. So the floor should be that, and the ceiling should be that, and then the upper wall should be that, and the lower wall should be that. Because these are supposed to be like broken bits of the dungeon. And this is supposed to be. Let's make the upper wall this like that, and let's place torch marker. Why did the markers get removed? Okay, so place marker, torch, place. And this also should be level, set theme, cave. play, so then we get some light coming in from the crystals that get slammed in. I feel like in game it does it a lot more frequently than I'm seeing in here. And then I think the same thing here, so let me just grab the texture from that and do that, and then put another torch marker here. Just trying to light the player's path so they know how to get up and down torch. So plate. So you should have these series of torches that kind of guide you down this broken thing with these kind of broken pillars. And there we go. Yeah, still lots of coding talk, which is cool. I'm really glad I have other knowledgeable folks in chat to help field some of these questions. Yeah, I mean, like I think we're all striving to make a good thing. So, like, I don't know, like I think everybody's trying to make a good thing. So I don't know how much of a differentiator that is, but yeah, we are trying to. Like for me, I'm trying to make the most beautiful dungeon crawler with low poly 2D pixel art that I can, and I'm trying to it's hard, but I'm trying. Yeah, I think this is yeah, I think this is okay for now. For now, maybe. Is it okay, Joshua? Can I live with it? I touched that part up, which is there's some value to that, I suppose. Should I set the lower wall to? Let's test this out real quick. Set the lower wall to that. Play. And then I could put in some of the texture generated, but I need to fix the G and upper wall. There we go. Maybe that makes more sense to have it something like that to make it feel like a tower. Except for this is. Let me scooch that over because I could see through that. There we go. There we go. All right. Whoa! It is past 2 o'clock. Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah. So let me wrap it up. So let's go File, Save. Let's close that out. Let's go to our command line. Let's do a Git status. I've touched a few things, so let's add them. Let's do a Git commit -m, and let's say we are detailing cave/start. Push. Cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yeah? You want to say hi? Hey, let's say hi. Oh. Oh, so this is my little one. And he's back from swim class, so it's time for me to go. So hey, I'm Joshua. This has been the Delver development stream that I do every Sunday. You can also check me out on weekdays, Monday through Friday at noon. I also do my lunch break project, which is a roguelike playable through Twitch. You can follow me here on Twitch at Joshua Skelly. You can follow me on Twitter at Joshua Skelly if you want to know what I'm up to. So also people can subscribe to me, so I really appreciate my subscribers. Off the list, Codrake, Fifth Elephant, Nympheus, Dr. Kegel, Glass Casket TV, and New Obj. You folks are the best for supporting me and the weird stuff that I do. Thank you to everybody who's bought in my game. I've had a really awesome day with you. I look forward to the Sundays because of my streaming, and it's been a really productive day, and I appreciate that. So let's, well, you enjoy the rest of your day, because I will, and I will see you tomorrow for Lunch Break Roguelike. Take care, everybody.